This is Beyond the Headline segment, and today we are bringing to you what the NCA has said with regards to our SIM card registration. Now, if you haven't re-registered your SIM card, I know before you purchase a SIM card in Ghana, you should have registered it. But there is a re-registration exercise. If you haven't done it, or if you've done just the first process, then you need to make sure you complete it, because we've been told that effective the 30th of September, all SIM cards that have not been registered or have gone through the stage 1 registration will be blocked. Yesterday, we also heard that there's a punitive action that is going to take effect. With regards to this, a lot of questions have come asking what is the meaning of these punitive actions that are going to take effect. Now, I'll go ahead and read a statement that was released to you for you to know what has been said in there. Then we'll delve into a conversation where we'll break it into the layman English for you to understand what NCA is communicating to you. So the directive reads, Directive on Punitive Actions for Unregistered SIM Cards. The National Communications Authority refers to the ongoing SIM registration exercise, which is scheduled to end on the 30th of September 2022. So this has a lot of questions, but I'll continue to read. Please be informed that the punitive measures which were discussed at the meeting at the NCA on the 3rd of August 2022 were compiled and reviewed following your submissions. After a digitalization, after a comprehensive review and with the approval of the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digitalization, please find below the punitive measures. Table 1. Punitive measures to be implemented from Monday, the 5th of September 2022. No registration and stage 1 registration. The punitive measure 1. Rerouting of all outgoing calls to IVR for a message to be played before all calls go through every day. Okay. Punitive measure 2. Outgoing calls and data services for a sequential batch of numbers blocked for 48 hours. That is 2 days, once a week on rotational basis. So like KMJ and I discussed yesterday, if you were not blocked yesterday, you could be blocked today or tomorrow or Thursday or Friday because it's rotational. MNOs shall divide the unregistered SIMs into 5 batches for the purpose of implementing this punitive measure. These measures shall exclude blocking of SMS to give defaulting subscribers the opportunity to initiate registration if they so wish. Subscribers who fully register their SIM cards within the period they have been blocked will only be unblocked by the MNOs after the 48 hours to avoid the MNOs from tampering with their systems intermittently. So it means that if you are blocked today and you go and register today, they will not activate it for you today. It will be activated after 48 hours. Now, again, there is another measure here. All unregistered SIM cards of the MNOs, that's the no registration attempt and stage 1 only, should be blocked after the 30th of September 2022. All unregistered SIM cards of the BWAs should be blocked after the 30th of September 2022. And this goes to both stage 1 and non-registered completely. On the line this morning is Honorable Sam George. He has been talking about this SIM card re-registration exercise. He's spoken on a lot of platforms about, how it cannot be passed. It can't be forced on people. And right now, it looks like from the 30th of September, it is going to take effect. SIM cards are going to be blocked. We need to speak to him this morning to hear what he has to say. Good morning, Honorable.
Hey, good morning.
How are you this morning?
Very well. I hope you're doing well too.
Fantastic. And now these punitive actions they took effect yesterday. I haven't spoken to anybody who has experienced it yet, but we've been told that it's definitely taken effect yesterday, and they'll start blocking the SIM cards from the 30th of September. What's your take on this?
Well, first and foremost, good morning to our viewers. And it's just unfortunate that we have come to a place where public office holders who are supposed to serve the interest and protect the interest of the citizens are rather seeking to deprive citizens of things that services that they are supposed to enjoy. I've made the point earlier on other platforms that the NCA, as a creation of law, is supposed to regulate the space, the telecom space, and ensure quality of service to the citizens of this country. I'm sure you yourself and your viewers would agree with me that of late, the quality of service has been pretty poor. You try to make phone calls, the person's phone is on, they tell you the phone is off. You connect the net, the connection is very bad. I mean, the internet experience has been horrible. And you would expect that the regulator would make a statement on this or tell the customers, the consumers of the telecom space something. The NCA has been quiet on this. It's not their business. They're not interested in ensuring that we get good quality of service. They're rather interested in issuing threats and carrying out fiats from the Ministry of Communications, which have no basis in law, and that's quite unfortunate. These directives that they have given, as far as we are concerned in the minority, are directives that fly against the letter and spirit of Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution, which says that anyone who has administrative power should not exercise that power in a manner that is arbitrary or capricious. We believe that this is ill-intended. This is not the way to go, and it's rather going to hurt the industry. The ministry is cutting his nose to spite his face.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. So you said it's definitely going to hurt the people. How is this hurting the people?
At the end of the day, people rely on their SIM cards for survival. There are people whose business requires that they use the SIM cards in their phones, either by way of the internet or data experience or voice experience. If you block those SIM cards, you take away the livelihoods of people. Now you say, then why haven't they registered their SIM cards? Some of these persons have taken all steps necessary.
But Honorable, this is a case whereby these people have been given grace period on when to register. It's been extended more than 3 times. So how are they going to be hurt? All they needed to do was to have registered their SIM cards.
Well, I'm unaware that any citizen of this country has the power to generate a Ghana card for themselves. Anybody who needs to register, we've been told, can only use the Ghana card. And no citizen produces a Ghana card. The Ghana card is produced by the NIA. So when you have citizens who have since 2018 registered and not been able to get their Ghana card, or for one reason or the other, have been unable to get registered. Some of them have gone to join the queues that we saw previously, and they were given dates in September, October to show up for their data to be captured. How then do you blame such citizens? Those citizens have taken every step within their power to get registered, but the NIA has been unable to provide them a card. You have over 2 million Ghanaians who have not been registered at all. You have another 2 million who have registered but have had challenges with the receiving their cards, or have their cards and their challenges on their cards. So you're talking about 4 million citizens who have those challenges. I don't see how you can blame those citizens for the inability to get a Ghana card, which is a prerequisite for the registration of the SIM card. So,
Honorable, are you suggesting that we should the NCA should hold onto this deadline till every citizen has registered onto the Ghana card before they go ahead and give a deadline?
What we are suggesting is that the NCA and the Ministry of Communication should have applied common sense and spoken to the technical people in the industry and stakeholders before giving deadlines. If the NCA had averted his mind to the fact that in depending on only the Ghana card, you were depending on a card whose issuance was not time-bound, whose issuance was in continuum. Because the NIA is a creation of law. The NIA was not created to issue Ghana cards within a set time. They were to issue Ghana cards on an ongoing basis. So then you do not also then start your own process and restrict it to the Ghana card and put a timeline on it. And that's why when people say that the NCA tries to blame the NIA says you can't blame us because we are not bound by any statute to finish issuing cards within a time frame. And that's why people have said that the NCA, they were minded, or the Ministry of Communications, if they were minded and had spoken to technical people and the industry players at the commencement or even before the commencement of this process, would have realized that restricting yourself to the Ghana card alone was going to create this kind of problem. We've seen other state institutions like SNIT, like EVLA, do a synchronization of databases and verification of customers as against the NIA database. None of them ask their customers to come and queue and do a two-step process. The NCA is simply refusing to use the laid-down integration protocols that the NIA has. The NIA has protocols for integration of databases that does not involve the stress that Ghanaians have been put through by the NCA and the ministry. The NCA has failed to go through the NIA's own protocols because the NCA wants to do procurement. Because of procurement, procuring an app of their own, an app that doesn't do real-time verification, the NCA has chosen to walk away from the NIA's protocols that exist for integration and have put the Ghanaian people in a tight spot. Because you see, for me, the disservice in all of this is the fact that even this app or this registration that the NCA is doing does not verify against the NIA database in real time.
Honorable, people are of the opinion that, the comments that are being passed by the opposition parties, the reason why some Ghanaians are hesitant to register their SIM cards. Do you agree with that?
I mean, that's preposterous. You shouldn't treat such comments from the minister with any seriousness. If persons in opposition, if comments from the opposition is good enough to control the minds and actions of the public, then those in government have no business ruling this country. They should hand over to the opposition to rule the country, because then they will suggest that the people of this country listen to the opposition better. It simply is the fact that the people of this country do not see common sense and do not see any wisdom in the actions that are being taken by the government. And
Honorable, so if you were in that seat,
it is insulting of the intelligence of the people of this country that the Minister for Communications would suggest that the people of this country do not have a brain to think on their own, and that they would only do what is dictated to them by the minority or the opposition. She should respect the people of this country and know that they have brains to think, and that they have a right to choose for themselves where they stand on issues, and that if her policy direction is lacking of common sense, people will not support it.
Honorable, if you were in that seat and people haven't registered their Ghana cards yet, and where there's challenges with the NIA, what would you have done in the seat?
I'd have listened to stakeholders and industry players. That would be the first thing any intelligent public officer would do. We are rolling out public policy. That's why it's called public policy. You engage all the stakeholders. And if you had engaged the stakeholders, we wouldn't have found ourselves in this mess. First and foremost, we would have used the NIA's own integration platform. Secondly, we would have also expanded the documents that will be used for verification to include the Ghanaian passport and the voter's ID card. If you want to do this in a time-bound manner, the simple thing that you would have done, and if you speak with the industry players and technical people, they'll tell you, every Ghanaian either has a Ghana card, a passport, or a voter's ID card. At least they have one of three. So if you want to put a timeline on it, you give the options of those three. And thankfully, all three databases have been synchronized with the NIA. So whether you're using your Ghana passport or using your voter's ID card, the NIA can verify the data on those documents, because all those documents are biometric, and biometric details that were captured that are synchronized with the NIA. So if the NDC was in office, I can assure you that that's how I would have gone about it.
All right, Honorable, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. But let me ask you, have you re-registered your SIM card?
Unfortunately not, because I don't have a Ghana card. I don't have a Ghana card because I've been offered the opportunity of a protocol service. I find that disingenuous, because I'm being offered that because I'm a member of parliament today. The people who voted for me in Ningo Pampam have been registering in the Pampam office since February. They haven't received their card. So why should I be given a protocol service? My argument has been simple. I want to register in the Pampam office, but I would only register and get my card after those who registered before me in my constituency have been given their cards. If the NIA cannot produce the cards for the people in my constituency who have registered since February, the NIA should not be in a position to produce my card for me on the same day. I think that's just what public office must be. You must serve the wills of the people who put you in office. And so I have refused to get a protocol service, and I'm insistent that until those who registered before me since February in my constituency get their cards in the Pampam office, I don't see why anybody should get a protocol service and jump the queue. That in itself is immoral.
Right. Okay, Honorable, but you can actually go to their office and get your NIA card done.
Well, the people in my constituency have gone to their office since February, and they haven't had their cards done.
All the people in your constituency?
The NIA should provide my constituents their cards. Then I would also follow suit.
Honorable, are you saying all the people in your constituency haven't had their cards done?
I'm saying that since February of this year, about 90% of the people who registered in the NIA office in Pampam have not had their cards since February this year.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And so I cannot seek to bypass the process. That's the abuse of the process that we have in this country, where public office holders bypass what the ordinary Ghanaians go through by virtue of the position that ordinary Ghanaians have given to them. And because we do not see what the people who voted us into office go through, we never fight for the right things to be done.
But let me ask you this.
Process, I will have my SIM card registered, and I won't care what happens to my constituents.
Let me ask you this. As a mouthpiece of your people, what have you done to enable them get the card?
Well, we have raised this issue. We've summoned the NIA to Parliament on a number of times. The NIA has made it clear to us that they have challenges of manpower. The NIA boss made it clear to me that for the Pampam office, for example, you should have 22 people working in that office. You have only 4 people working in that office. And so it's affected their ability to be able to work. They have only 4 people because of the financial clearance that was given to them. And so this is not their making. And that, given the way they are structured, they would eventually produce the cards, but then they cannot do it with the timeline that the NTA has set. And so you cannot entirely blame the NIA as well, because there are constraints that restrict the NIA. But as a representative of the people, I'm serving notice that we have oversight responsibility by the powers conferred on us in the Constitution. And if we've called the minister and the NTA and tried to advise them on this process from Parliament, and they're refusing, if they go ahead to deprive my constituents in September, at the end of September, of the use of their SIM cards, I would also use the power vested in me by my constituents by sitting in Parliament to also frustrate the passage of the ministry's budget for 2023. And nobody should take this lightly. Last year we did same. When we demanded that the ministry should bring the NTA's annual reports, which had not been presented to Parliament since 2015, and the minister refused to. When she appeared before us for her budget, we refused to hear her budget and asked her to leave the committee. The committee refused to listen to her and approve her budget. In 24 hours, she produced 3 years of those reports. She shouldn't push us down that road again, where we would refuse to approve a budget and appropriation for the Ministry of Communications for 2023, and we would be willing to go down that road with them if they also decide to punish our constituents. Until our constituents get mobile service, she also won't have a budget. I mean, if that's the route you want us to go, we're ready and prepared to go down that route with her.
All right, Honorable, I wish I can speak to you for close to an hour on my show, but unfortunately, because it's a phone call, I can't. Can you please come into the studio on Monday for us to have an in-depth conversation? Sorry.
I would discuss this with production. I really wish I could. At the moment, we're in hold on Public Accounts Committee business. Monday next week, we're supposed to be in Takrady as well. So maybe after the regional tours of the Public Accounts Committee, we can structure something and I'll come to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time this morning. We are grateful.
You're welcome.
All right, so I've been speaking to Honorable Sam George, and he's told us his opinion on the punitive measures. So I have with me my colleague who is going to break it down to the layman English for you to understand, just in case you don't understand what the punitive measures are. He's here, and his name is Kweku Asante. He's with Joy News. Good morning, Kweku.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. I hope you are good too.
I'm fine, thank you. I mean, the punitive actions or the punitive measures are here, and it looks like Honorable has spoken a lot about it, saying that if we have almost 4 million Ghanaians who still haven't gotten their NIA card, and the only way for you to re-register your SIM card is to use your NIA card or your national ID identification card, then it means that people cannot re-register.
Indeed, when the NIA came to Parliament, before Parliament went on break, these were some of the concerns that the MPs pushed forward, that you still have a significant amount of Ghanaians who do not yet have their Ghana card. And this is the prerequisite to get your SIM card registered. So if through no fault of a citizen, people have gone to various lengths to get their Ghana card, we saw the queues at the Elwak Sports Stadium, and they are not yet getting their Ghana card. On what basis will anyone take any decision to, as it were, block their SIM cards? Of course, there's a case to be made about recalcitrant people who are simply not going out there to register their SIM cards. We saw the queues at the various MTN and Vodafone offices. As soon as the deadline was extended, the queues just went away because people are just waiting for the next deadline. Government has also decentralized the process. We have a self-SIM registration app for people on Android to be able to do that in the comfort of their homes at a cost of 5 cedis. So government is going certain length to ensure that this is done. However, there are people who genuinely do not have the Ghana card. And that is the only way you can register. So if I don't have my Ghana card yet, then I cannot register.
Would
and if
they
it's
be
not
able
true
to
for the
trace into the system to know who has their Ghana card and hasn't re-registered?
Yeah, it's easy to verify that. Of course, it's not foolproof. What you just have to do is to just pick the data from the NIA and just match it with the MNOs, the network operators. You'll just find out that these people have been registered. Also, because there's also the start of the process where you do the *404 hash, where you're able to do the first process before you go to the MTN office. So it's quite good to do that. But I'm not sure at this point in time government is considering that.
No, they are not.
I think if you listen to the minister when she spoke by extending the deadline, she said that the deadline is the end of September, but then at the end of August, we're going to roll out some measures, which they have started rolling out to restrict people. And some of them are very punitive. And the kind of way they've couched them is something that's going to make your life unbearable if you're going to use your SIM card that has not been registered. So if I can go through them now, there are 2 stages. The first stages are for people who have done the *404 hash. That is, you've linked your Ghana card to your SIM registration and you're expected to follow up. What is going to happen is from today, if you haven't done that, whenever you make a call, it will take much longer for you to be able to reach the person you are calling, because your call will be rerouted to an IVR where a long message is going to be played to you about why you have not registered your SIM card and the kind of measures you have to take.
I thought they've been playing that message
right,
for a
but
while
this is going to be an extended one, because ordinarily those ones are usually caller tunes and other things which last a few seconds. This time your call will be rerouted to a whole IVR where this message will be played to you. And then at the next level, what the NCA is doing is to say that those who haven't registered their SIM cards yet are going to have their SIM card, their data services, as well as their call services blocked for 48 hours. That is 2 days every week. So if you haven't registered your SIM cards on a rotational basis, 1 week it could be that on Monday and Tuesday you're not going to be able to access your internet or calls. The next week is probably going to be Wednesday and Thursday, and then it's going to be on such rotational basis until the end of this month. If you haven't still registered your SIM card, then your SIM card will be totally blocked, at which point you cannot make calls, you cannot use your data services. Up until the next 6 months, you have that window to go and re-register your SIM, after which your SIM card, you lose it. The MTN, Vodafone, they'll probably sell it off to another operator.
Right, let me go on the phone. Joining us from the NCA is Kwame Jan. He is the Deputy Director of Consumer and Corporate Affairs Division. Good morning, Kwame.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I know you've gotten a lot of messages or calls with regards to these punitive measures that are going to take effect. We've spoken to a few people as well, and we spoke to Honorable Sam George this morning, where his concern is with the NIA cards, because that is the requirement for you to be able to have your SIM card re-registered. However, he said that over 4 million Ghanaians still haven't gotten their NIA cards, and these punitive measures are still going to take effect. What do you think about it?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to address these punitive measures issues. What I try to do is avoid getting into a banter or to try to respond to anything that some judge has said or whatever he's done. Now, the issue is that, yes, indeed, the source document for this exercise is a Ghana card. And much as I don't speak for the NIA, I do believe that despite the concerns that you raised, which are actually very, very legitimate, there are some people who, I believe, for no fault of theirs, might be out there without their SIM card, without their Ghana card. At the same time, however, there are also some people who we believe that have the SIM card and are still not registering, their Ghana cards. Others who have just not showed up to pick up their Ghana cards yet. As to what happens with regards to these people that some judge mentions, and I'm not sure whether the number is 4 million or less or more, that's something that we leave to the Ministry of Communications to decide. What we are saying now is that, for example, as at 25th of August, we have about 63% or so of the total base having done the stage 1. That is linking the Ghana card with your SIM card. However, only about 42% had done the stage 2, which actually makes it a complete registration. So as far as we are concerned at the NCA, there are two types of folks in this scenario. Either you finish your registration or you have not. If you've done this stage 1, you are just as bad as a person who has done 0. So we are saying that those 20% of people who have done stage 2 currently
Kwame, can you give us the percentage again? You said what percentage has done the stage 1, please?
As at 25th of August, there about 64% have done stage 1.
Okay.
And then we have about 20% less having done stage 2.
50%?
62 or so have done stage 1, and about 20% less have done stage 2.
20% less, okay.
Yeah, so that's about 42% thereabouts. Now the question is that these are people who already have their Ghana cards, who have taken the opportunity to link the Ghana cards with the SIM card, but have not completed their registration yet. And I'm saying that we have only two options of people here. Either you are done with your registration, or you are not done with your registration. So we urge everyone, if you started the process, complete it. If you haven't, make the effort to get your Ghana card. As to what happens to those people who are expecting their Ghana cards because they've already gone through the process, I believe at the right time the ministry would respond to that. However, those other folks whose Ghana cards are ready and haven't picked them up yet, we urge them to do so. Those who have not registered yet, this is a good time to do so because everyone else has gone home to go and sleep. Show up at the NIA and then go have your cards done and then register accordingly.
So, Kwame, what about those who are still going to the NIA but they haven't gotten their cards? What if they don't get their cards before the 30th? What's going to happen? Are we still going to penalize them at no fault of theirs?
Well, I believe at the right time, towards the end of this month, the ministry would address that concern. Because what it is that, let's bear in mind this.
But you would have taken them through the punitive actions at no fault of theirs, Kwame.
Say that again, I missed that.
You would have taken them through the punitive actions or the punitive measures at no fault of theirs, because there are some innocent people out there who haven't gotten access to the Ghana cards.
Sadly, we are in a situation where it's difficult for us to determine from where we sit who these people are and why they've not gone for their Ghana cards and why they've not registered yet. And I'm saying that, as far as we are concerned, this action here that we started is to ensure that people who have the card, who have access to the card, take the necessary action and ensure that they get registered. As to what happens to the pool that you just described, I believe that at the right time, towards the end of this exercise, the Ministry of Communications, which actually gives directives on this exercise, will come and tell us and let us know what happens to those people that you just described.
Great. Kwame, have you also thought about using other measures? Because when you look at, aside the Ghana card, we have the voters registration card, we have, that's the voters ID, we do have the passports. Why don't we look at that measure as well? Because that is also a biometric.
This was the case that we had before. And this is what has brought us to a situation where there are lots of people with fake IDs who have used that to gain access to various networks. And then if these folks sometimes go commit some kind of crime or something, you go check on their records, and the IDs they presented for registration were not found to be genuine. So you have someone who's involved in something, go check up, and then he's a 10-year-old. Meanwhile, there's no way that 10-year-old could have done what it says that the person had done. So the law that we have, the one we see now, the same one that is making the Bank of Ghana ensure that without you attaching your Ghana card to your bank account details, you can access banking services. The same law that you are using now. That's how come the Ghana card is the one we are using. I mean, otherwise, the same things that we are trying to prevent, we might just end up not succeeding in that direction.
On the 30th of September, you said is the deadline. Are we ceasing registration completely?
So registration cannot cease completely in the sense that people keep on buying new SIM cards every day. So as long as you buy a new SIM card, you go through the process with the Ghana card. They will link it up for you, register it for you, and then hand over the SIM card to you. But because, mind you, by the law of Ghana, you cannot use a SIM card that has not been registered. That's illegal. And we are saying that what we are doing now is to cover the base of the, if you like, legacy SIMs. People like you and I who already have SIM cards but have to re-register by the law that we have now. And we are saying that as of after the 30th of September, if you have not gone through this process accordingly, then you'll be taken off the network until you go through the process to get your SIM card back. I believe I someone explained to you what the change process is like.
So let me... Okay, please go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
The telco space, after a number remains unused or dormant for a period of 6 months in total, it gets changed. It gets put back into the market for somebody else to buy. Because the number is that the phone number, as you have it, is, for the want of better expression, rented from the government of Ghana through the telco for you to use. So once you are not using the number any longer, it gets back into the system for somebody else to use. So after you are gone off the network from the 30th of September, from 1st of October, you have a 6-month window within which you get your number back by going through the registration process. If you fail to do that after 6 months, then of course assume that you don't want your number back.
Now help me out here. So for those who will be blocked on the 30th of September, if they should walk into any of the offices on the 1st of October, can they re-register and get their phone unblocked? Absolutely,
absolutely. So they may not still have your records there. They know that this number was previously being used by this person who had this ID attached to the number, and that the requirement here was for the person to register with his Ghana card. So once you show up there, they will get you back your number for you.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry about that too. So of course, once you show up after the 1st of October, you can get your number back by showing your ID card and then being registered accordingly.
So there are a lot of people out there who want to know, based on what law are you using to block people's SIM cards?
Well, you may have to look at this from the perspective of the fact that the NCA Act gives certain directives or powers to the Minister of Communications. And we are going through this exercise, the current registration exercise, through the directives given to her through the NCA Act. So we are saying that, and per the laws that we have in Ghana here, a SIM card cannot be used on Ghana's networks until it goes through due registration. So it's assumed that once you have not gone through 404, once you have not going to use the app to finish your registration, or go to your telco to finish your registration, it's assumed that your SIM card is not properly registered, and therefore it's illegal for you to use accordingly.
But all SIM cards in Ghana have been registered, right?
But a law came back that tells us that the only ID card that we should use for the purposes of registration of SIM cards should be the Ghana card.
That's a law.
Yeah, that's a law. I mean, is it
a law as a directive?
Say it again.
Is it a law as a directive?
It's an NIA Act.
Okay.
the National Identity Register Act.
Okay.
The same act that mandates the Bank of Ghana to ensure that without your Ghana card, you can't open a bank account. The same law that ensures that one of the requirements for you to keep a passport is to have a Ghana card. It's the same one we're using for this exercise.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, Kwame. We are very grateful. I've been speaking to Kwame Jan, who is a representative from NCA. He is the Deputy Director of Consumer and Corporate Affairs Division. I'm still here with Kweku, and Kweku was breaking it down to us in the layman's English, telling us that for 2 days,
your calls and your data activity will be blocked. So if you have not registered your SIM within this period up until the end of September, you cannot make calls every 2 days, and then you cannot also use your data service. You cannot use the internet and use any other thing that relies on the internet. So government is seeking to pile the pressure on citizens, because if you are using your data and you cannot make calls, you assume that the pressure is going to come on you. But that is why the question you asked, Kwame Jan, was very important, that what about people who, through no fault of theirs, simply do not have the Ghana card? And he says that at the end of the process, there will be some form of communication or some form of decision on that.
Why
wait till then? Why are you taking that decision post that when you've already punished these people? So I think it's some of the things that went into the process. If the thinking could have been a bit different, but I mean, all the same, the idea behind the re-registration is a good idea. But I think some of the way the process has been managed has been a bit lagging in terms of public policy. Yeah.
Right, Kweku, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We've been speaking about the new directive that the punitive measures that are going to take effect. Actually, it's supposed to have taken effect yesterday. If you haven't registered your SIM cards yet, you might be blocked twice a week or once a week, 48 hours. You can't make calls, you can't receive messages, nothing whatsoever. Imagine going off your phone for 48 hours. That's not going to be easy at all. But that's what is going to happen. So you need to go and register your SIM cards today. Get it registered. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. We spoke to Honorable Sam George and also Kwame Jan. Coming up next, we are going into the digital world. Of course, we needed to do our NIA cards in digitalization. Let's delve into a deeper digital conversation. Stay with us.